The Redlands is an agriculturally zoned area that is in the southernmost part of Miami. It's very easy for someone who wants to abandon an animal or do any illegal activity to go out there and drop a dog off without being seen.
Hey, babies! The biggest challenge at this time is that more and more people are dumping their dogs. There's so many rescues in Florida that are just inundated with rescue dogs and dogs that don't have homes. It's just a sad situation. People don't care about their dogs out here. It's a different mentality.
Yeah, a lot of these dogs are their own, but they don't feed these dogs. I don't understand that. I don't get, if they don't, they say they know we feed, so they're like, okay, you feed them. I mean, if they don't, you don't come, we don't need to feed them.
Hi, baby! What you doing? Right?
So, I mean, most of these dogs are dumped, and eventually they don't want us to even fix them. We offered to spay and neuter them and stuff. They said no, they're fine here, and they keep having puppies. It's terrible. It's to produce in every 3-4 months. Yeah, and it's old school. You know, they don't believe in. They think roaming is okay. Yeah, this is the Rockpit for you. So.
There are a couple of misconceptions regarding the number of dogs. First of all, if you don't physically live there and you don't drive through there, you're not going to see it. The first thing that we need is to make sure that people understand that this is happening. So awareness throughout our nation, throughout our county, throughout our particular part of town. Everyone needs to be aware that this is reality, that this is not a made up story, this is reality. Our goal is to try to get the dogs fed first and foremost. If you feed Redlands and Homestead, that's about a 5-hour day, and you have to stop at about 40 some odd places. The challenge physically and mentally of dealing with seeing animals in the unbelievable conditions that they're in and not being able to do anything about it at that moment. Trying to coordinate all the efforts is a big issue because it's not just find the dog, take a dog. No, it has to have a whole plan. Every individual dog needs a plan. All dogs have to be vetted. We cannot put dogs in anyone's home without vetting. That makes no sense. So everything has to be vetted immediately. That coordination from where it's at to the vet has to happen. So now it's vetted. Now where does the dog go? If there's a foster, then that's great. We can take it to the foster, but that also adds another layer of challenges. At the same time going on, we have who's going to take it? What rescue wants this dog?
Paw Patrol is a nonprofit animal rescue. It's myself and Christy Torres. It was Christy's dream to start an animal rescue. Our goal was to find homes for all of these abandoned, surrendered, and found animals. A typical day at Paw Patrol is a lot of networking. We mean we use social media a lot to find homes for these dogs, to post information about specific dogs, transport we may need, fosters we may need to acquire to place a dog in a temporary home before they get adopted. We are constantly speaking to the 2 veterinarians that we work with. We're in constant contact with our fosters to make sure that they have everything that they need. We supply everything for them. The most frustrating part about any animals lost, I think it's the amount of animals that are lost every single day. We get calls constantly of people surrendering dogs, whether they're older, they're younger. We see posts on Facebook that we get tagged on of people that have surrendered 15-year-old animals to Miami-Dade Animal Services. It's heartbreaking and just unbelievable to us. In order for people to help, I think people really have to be cognizant of how important it is to spay and neuter their dogs.
Okay, spaying and neutering is the most important thing you can do with your pet. But for the most part, spay and neuter your dog. You don't want your dog escaping, getting another dog pregnant, or leaving and coming back pregnant if it's a female. We have so many cases of people finding dogs and cats, and nobody wants all these animals.
Dogs need to be chipped. People don't understand how important it is to chip and register the chips, because it's not just the chip. You need to make sure that the chips are registered and all information up to date.
Microchipping is very important because if you lose your pet, if someone finds your pet and takes them to a veterinarian or animal services, they'll scan your pet and they'll find out that your pet has a chip. And very important is you have to register your pet so that all the information is under your name. This is how we put the microchip in, okay? And this one's been used, but microchip is about the size of a grain of rice. And it's a pretty big needle. We like to do it usually when we spay or neuter the pets, but it's just gonna inject this little rice-sized chip in, and when you scan the dog or cat, it shows up with a specific number that's specific to this, and that's it. It's that easy.
I've been grooming for about 7 years now, and I have to say that one of the best parts about my job has been where I get to make such a drastic difference in these dogs' lives. From them being on the streets to who knows how long, they come in here, they're confused, which can be so sad to see also, but it becomes a really nice story where my job comes in to, I think grooming is like one of the most important parts of the whole adoption and rescue part of this, to where, I get to really make them look and feel how they deserve to look and feel. And it's why I do what I do.
Fostering is such an incredible experience, and it's a terrific part of the whole process with the abandoned dogs that seem to be abandoned on a daily basis down in South Dade. I was fortunate enough, my family and I, to foster 2 small puppies that were 2 of 17 that were found in a big Tupperware bin in a park in Homestead that a Good Samaritan found. And so we were fortunate enough to foster 2 of these small puppies. It was a lot of work, but it was very rewarding. It was great to be a part of the whole process of getting them forever homes. And it even got better because the 2 of them ended up getting adopted together, which is an incredible end of the story. So anyone who is considering being involved in this, fostering is a great way to do that. And the rescuers that are out there feeding them on a daily basis, that are discovering these dogs, fostering is so important so that way these dogs can find homes.
I rescued Fergie from a shelter in Hialeah, Florida, which I came to find was a high-kill shelter. So my son Nicholas and I were walking around, and I remember the first thing that struck us both is the condition of that shelter and the condition in which these dogs were kept in very small metal cages, nothing warm, just a bare cage. And so we started looking around, and when we got to Fergie's cage, I remember the look in her eyes. She had this intense sadness and just looked mangy and cold, and abandoned is a word that comes to mind. And so the rest is history. We were able to bring her home about a week and a half later. Fergie has brought, the first word that comes to my mind is joy. She has brought tremendous joy to my life. I think she's taught me a lot about gratitude, because I see it in her eyes every day, how grateful she is that I rescued her. And she's just a constant companion. She makes me laugh. She's a little angel.
I was looking for a small dog. I had a a friend, and she recommended Paw Patrol Animal Rescue and Sanctuary. And they told me about Cooper, and they asked if I wanted to meet them at Crossroads Animal Hospital, which I did. And I went over and I saw this matted ball of fur that they had cut some of his hair off, and he looked terrible, and there was nothing really redeeming about him except that he was a real chill dog. So you could tell that his personality was very laid back. Cooper is my 6th rescue, and I have to tell you that there's something very special about a rescue dog. They know they've been rescued, and they are there to love you, but I think these rescue dogs are far superior in my mind. Cooper has brought so much love into our family. We know some of his story and his history. It's not a good one. He's very special.
This is my particular success story, and one that I will always hold true and dear to my heart. This is Anakin. Anakin was born in the Redlands, in a trailer with no windows, with no air conditioning, on a very hot March day. Anakin has been with me and by my side since he was 2 days old. He will be with me forever. He's my forever dog. So he is my success story. Anakin.
In South Florida, we have a huge problem. So why not be part of the solution as a part and not contribute to the problem?
If you can adopt from a shelter versus going through a breeder, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. It was a great experience, and you're doing such a great service to the pet world, and you're going to get that back tenfold.
It's just amazing how grateful these dogs are, and they're gonna thank you for the rest of their lives, that they know that you've saved them and that you just rescued them. Saved their life.